Hello and welcome to the Bonehead Championship. I'm Ben for the Bonehead Podcast and welcome to the semi-final 2 preview for the Bonehead Championship. So last weekend there was a heck of a game. Our first semi-final is done and dusted. One of those teams advances to the grand final. I'm not going to spoil it. If you haven't watched that game, please go watch it. If you only watch one of our games, watch that one. So good. And I think we're going to have another absolute belter this weekend. So this is the semi-final 2 game between our number 1 seeded team, the Wild Hunters, our Wood Elf team, and they're going to be taking on the snuck into the finals, 4th seeded team, the Marienburg Minotaurs, our Nobility team. So this is a little bit of bash versus dash. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the teams, we're going to have a look at the coaches, we're going to have a look at the matchup, and we're going to have a look at the final 2 weeks of the Viewer Championship. Okay, so first up is the Marienburg Minotaurs, our Imperial Nobility team. They managed to go 1-2-2 in the regular season and have got themselves up to 1305, so 1,305,000. They are sitting at 2 rerolls, but they have got some serious skills on the go now. Boney the Ogre is rocking Guard, which is going to be massive. You don't have to activate a piece to benefit from Guard, so we're probably going to see that come into play here. Jules Ramey and Royce the Pomp are both our blitzers, and they are both leveled up with tackle on both of them. Royce the Pomp, our third player on the list, also has dodge. So we've got a blodge tackle and a block tackle piece there. That is going to be massive against an agile team like the Wood Elves, who's got, what, 5-6 dodge players? We could see this be pretty important. Royce the Pomp, the Goblin Hunter, had a pretty great time in the 5th round. Podrick Payne, Angus von Muller, Purple P and JJ Twat are our 4 stack of bodyguards. That's right, we added another bodyguard, the rookie there, to the lineup. Now we've got guard on Podrick Payne. All the other ones are vanilla, but they start with Stand Firm and Wrestle. Wrestle is a great skill for taking down blodgers, of which the Wood Elves have quite a few. We got Maximilian Fancy and Hans von Swollen there, our lineman. Actually, number 10 did manage to level up in the last round and got block. So a block fend piece there, ready to go on the line, potentially to take on that tree. Ivan Volokov and Fitzmagic have just got a couple of completions between them, so no skills there. Now, we do have one miss next game. Pigtails got knocked out pretty hard in the last round, also known as Tyrol Lederhosen, and Frank Farmer has a niggling injury, number 11, but that does mean that this team is rocking 12 active players, which is pretty big when it comes to this team having kind of an overall low average of armor. Probably not going to be a massive issue against the Wood Elves. And actually, with the full stack of bodyguards, blitzers and an ogre, this team is rocking some serious combat power now. Most importantly, they are down 160k in petty cash inducements, and that happens to be enough for a wizard. And then onto a Wood Elf team, the Wild Hunters. This team has dominated this season, going 4-1-0 into the finals. They've managed to pick up their 3rd reroll with some cash and are now sitting at 1,465,000. So this team has gone through a couple of tough rounds and absolutely bloated now. And you can see we've got a smorgasbord of skills on this team now. Both War Dancers are now rocking Sidestep. Number 1 leveled up in Game 4. Number 2 leveled up in Game 5. We forgot about Sidestep in Game 5, so this is going to be pretty good. Now that Sidestep's going to be really useful to keep them on the ball whenever possible. Glodril Okar missed the last game and is now back. That's the leader for the 3rd reroll for this team, and on the ball with passing 2+ means that this player has got essentially a range of 10 squares of movement on the first play and then a 3 square pass with a 2++. So 13 to 16 squares of movement are nothing worse than a 2+, 3+ is massive. It's just a massive amount of movement for this team. Julia Lightfoot and Lethia Freeheart, our catchers, are back in the game. Going to watch out for number 5 with armor 7+ now, is going to make a pretty easy target. Block, however, on number 6, making him a blotcher, is going to be very useful. We've got a ton of linemen here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 linemen. Number 9 has dodge. Number 11 has kick. Mr. Kick is a very important player for this team. And number 12 also having a combat skill here of block. So we can see that the kind of the line of scrimmage for this Wood Elf team, a bit of dodge, a bit of block, actually is really good at keeping Wood Elves alive. And so is Maple Spine. So we picked up Maple Spine going into round 5. This is our tree man for the team. Maple Spine straight in there, got the MVP and a casualty, and was able to take guard immediately. So watch out for that block player and potentially that dodge elf to both be on the line at strength 4. This guard player versus Boney the Ogre on the other team is going to be a really interesting match up, and I think we're going to see a little bit Clash of the Titan style, some kaiju combat on the front line. Okay, so let's talk coaches. The coach for this game is going to be Richard Saxby, the OG Bonehead co-host. So Rich is a heck of a Bash player. He is the master of Bash, and running the Nobility team against Elves. Rich hates Elves. It's quite visceral. So I'm a bit worried about the fact that I'm going to be running Wood Elves. He's going to be running the Nobility team with what? 2 block, an ogre, 2 tackle, 4 wrestle pieces. It's going to be absolute carnage, and Richard's chosen to take that wizard as well to get that free attack with some mighty blow on some players there. Now, when most of this team, all of this team with the exception of Maple Spine, is running armor 8+ or 7+ in the case of that catcher, it could be a bit of a game changer. If that fireball hits, if I make a misplay and end up clumping some Wood Elves together, we could see a fireball take out a couple of players. Now, both of these teams running 12 on the roster. That's pretty good. And what, essentially 3-4 rerolls for the Wood Elves. They've got an ability to do things even when there's no one left. But when you're playing against 4 stand firm, everybody else with fend, and you've got a lot of combat power, the Nobility team has kind of started to find its groove, and the Wood Elves are very powerful but also very fragile. We're going up against basically 7 combat players here, 8 if you include the block lineman, and I've got 2 War Dancers and Maple Spine. It's going to be a bit of an uphill struggle with that, but when it comes to Wood Elves, you can score real quick. Fend has a massive issue. Fend and stand firm are a real nightmare for trying to create running lanes, and actually Mr. Bash over here has got a pretty good game plan when it comes to being able to control the ground. So this is going to be a game of keep away, I think. But the cool thing is our thrower is back, so we do have the opportunity to just binge Wood Elves into the other half and go for those long bomb plays. My prediction, if I can pull it off, is going to be a small win. It might be a 2-1 win here, but it really depends on how quickly those Wood Elves die. If I can get a quick score in, and then hold off, maybe it's all going to be about defensive play. If Rich makes a defensive play with the Nobility team, the Wood Elves are going to fall apart, and it's going to swing around, and we could see a bit of a sneaky 4th seed beating the 1st seed. And actually, you know what? If you're watching the NFL at the moment, you will know that 4th seeds are something to be feared. Okay, time to look at the Viewer Championship, because we have only got 2 more games to go, this one and the final, and then we will have our winners. So every round we put out this match preview, and we want you to guess the score. You get 1 point if you get the outcome right. You say this team's going to win or it's going to be a draw, and that happens, you get a point. And then we'll give you a point for any team's score that you get correct. So if you say this team's going to win 2-1 and they end up winning 3-1, you'll get 1 point for getting the winner right and 1 point for getting the team scoring 1 touchdown. So you can have up to 3 points. There are 2 rounds remaining, so a total of 6 points to go. Let's have a look at the top of our leaderboard, and it is getting very exciting. Papa Z got a perfect score in the last round and has jumped ahead a full game to 23 points in 1st place. We've got 1,000 Hats and Sam O'Dwyer right behind at 20. Remember, there's 6 points left to play, so it could be a big swing. 3rd place right behind at 19 points. We've got Joaquin Solis, Zephyr Baby, X Black Flag, Durka Willie and Olabayu. And then in 4th place, 18 points is still plenty of points to get in there into 1st place. Wolfgang, Clive the Kiwi, Matt Risby and David Warner, Blood Bowl Commissioner. And in 5th place, still within 6 points of 1st place here, Austin Faulkner, Des Slaven, Brad McClurg, Lucas Muller, John Naylor, Liminality and Vaughn K. It is getting really spicy at the beginning here, really spicy at the top. We're going to have to see which of those players can pull it off. If If Papa Z gets 0 points the way out, any one of these guys can swing in there and tie in first place. It's kind of on Papa Z here. The lead is theirs to lose. I love this. This is getting really exciting. The full leaderboard will be on the end of this video as ever. Okay, second game to last, the second semi-final, the first place team and the Nobility team that's brewed up kind of out of nowhere. This is a great match and I'm so glad that Rich is coming on. We've had some great coaches this entire season. Richard knows how to position ground game like no one else. It's almost as if he's played American football himself, which he has. It's like this big. It's not surprising. But it's Wood Elves. Can I win this Dash versus Bash matchup? It all depends on the dice and it all depends on the death of my players, and this is it. Maybe we can get a win. If we can, how much of the team's going to survive, and can the Marienburg Minotaurs just use that ground control game to ground out and pound down the Wood Elves? This is going to be an excellent matchup, and then we'll find out who is going to be in the final of the Bonehead Championship, and I am genuinely excited. This is awesome. Right, I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you very much for watching. Get your predictions in now. Even if you're out of the running, get your predictions in. We're going to do a full leaderboard of perfect scores in a couple of weeks' time, so get your name in there. Right, I'm going to go practice Wood Elves. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content, we get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead Podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.